James Warburg, a name perhaps less heralded in mainstream historical narratives, was a financier, banker, and an unyielding advocate for peace, whose profound insights and unconventional approaches to global stability transcended traditional diplomacy and military strategy. His fight for a more secure world was rooted in a deep understanding of economic mechanisms and an almost prophetic ability to foresee geopolitical consequences, leading him to employ unexpected tactics that challenged the prevailing wisdom of his era. This exploration delves into the remarkable life of a man who leveraged his financial acumen to champion peace, offering a unique perspective on how economic foresight can serve as a powerful bulwark against conflict. We will uncover the layered complexity of his methods, which were as much about preventing financial collapse as they were about averting armed confrontation. His legacy offers invaluable lessons, particularly for those who navigate the intricate currents of global finance and international relations today. James Warburg's journey began not in the halls of power, but within the demanding world of high finance, where he quickly distinguished himself. His career in banking, notably with Paul M. Warburg and Company, and later the Bank of Manhattan Company, provided him with an unparalleled vantage point from which to observe and comprehend the intricate tapestry of global economic processes. This direct engagement with the financial markets afforded him a unique understanding of capital flows, trade imbalances, and the delicate interdependencies that bound nations together, or conversely, tore them apart. He witnessed firsthand how economic decisions, often made in isolation, could ripple across continents, shaping destinies far beyond the balance sheets. This early immersion in the practicalities of finance was not merely a career path. It was foundational training for his later role as a geopolitical analyst. The tumultuous events of the early 20th century, particularly the Great Depression and the ominous rise of totalitarian regimes across Europe, served as a profound catalyst for Warburg. These cataclysms compelled him to pivot from the exclusive realm of finance towards active participation in political analysis and public discourse. He recognized that the stability of the global financial system was inextricably linked to political stability, and that economic distress often fueled extremist ideologies. His shift was not a departure from his financial expertise, but rather an application of that expertise to a broader, more urgent domain. Warburg understood that the pursuit of profit could not be detached from the pursuit of peace, especially when the very fabric of civilization seemed to be unraveling. His growing reputation as a shrewd economic thinker and a pragmatic voice quickly reached the highest echelons of American power. James Warburg became a trusted financial advisor to President Franklin D. Roosevelt during the critical period of the New Deal. In this capacity, he played a significant role in shaping economic policies designed to pull the United States out of the Depression, demonstrating his influence at the presidential level. His insights were crucial in navigating the complex economic challenges of the time, highlighting his ability to translate complex financial concepts into actionable governmental strategies. This advisory role underscored his conviction that robust economic policy was a prerequisite for national and international stability, a belief that would define much of his later work. The historical backdrop against which James Warburg operated was one of profound upheaval and existential threat. The interwar period, scarred by the aftermath of the First World War, was a crucible of discontent and burgeoning aggression. Warburg keenly observed the destructive legacy of the Treaty of Versailles, arguing vehemently that its punitive reparations and territorial adjustments sowed the seeds of future conflict. He recognized that the economic humiliation inflicted upon Germany would inevitably foster resentment and a desire for revanche, creating fertile ground for extremist movements. His early analysis, though often met with skepticism, proved tragically prescient, highlighting his ability to discern underlying patterns of historical causation long before they became apparent to the broader political establishment. As the world plunged into the Second World War and then emerged into the chilling reality of the Cold War, Warburg's efforts intensified. His focus shifted to preventing new conflicts and, crucially, averting the catastrophic specter of nuclear escalation. He understood that the advent of atomic weapons fundamentally altered the calculus of international relations, making traditional warfare an untenable option. His work in the post-war era was therefore dedicated to advocating for mechanisms of global cooperation and disarmament, seeking to build a framework for peace that transcended nationalistic rivalries. Warburg's prescience regarding the dangers of nuclear proliferation underscored his profound commitment to human survival and his capacity to adapt his strategies to evolving global threats. Warburg's unexpected tactics in the struggle for peace were deeply rooted in his economic understanding, marking him as a unique figure among peace advocates. He championed an economic determinism of peace, arguing that sustainable stability could only be achieved through financial equilibrium and equitable international trade. His most vocal criticism was directed at the Treaty of Versailles and its punitive reparations imposed on Germany after World War I. Warburg steadfastly maintained that these excessive demands were not merely economically unsound, but were a direct blueprint for future instability and the rise of revanchist sentiments within Germany. He foresaw, with chilling accuracy, that such economic burdens would inevitably lead to widespread poverty, social unrest, and a desperate search for scapegoats, paving the way for extremist ideologies. Instead of punitive measures, Warburg advocated for robust international economic cooperation as the bedrock of lasting peace. He proposed the establishment of international financial institutions and mechanisms for stabilizing global currencies, believing these were essential to eliminate the economic roots of conflict. His vision was of a world where nations collaborated on economic development rather than competing destructively, fostering a shared prosperity that would diminish incentives for aggression. He understood that economic interdependence could act as a powerful deterrent to war, creating a web of mutual interests too valuable to sever through conflict. This forward-thinking approach laid conceptual groundwork for future global economic governance. Furthermore, Warburg issued stark warnings against the dangers of protectionism and economic nationalism, which he viewed as precursors to international tension and armed conflict. He was convinced that erecting trade barriers, imposing tariffs, and pursuing economic isolation would inevitably lead to retaliatory measures, trade wars, and ultimately military confrontations. His analysis highlighted the historical correlation between restricted global trade and increased geopolitical friction, arguing that open markets and free exchange of goods and ideas were vital for fostering understanding and reducing animosity between nations. This perspective remains strikingly relevant in contemporary debates about global trade and economic policy. One of Warburg's most compelling unexpected tactics was his practice of preventive diplomacy through early and resolute warnings, often positioning himself as a voice of reason against widespread illusions. He was among the earliest and most forceful voices to caution against the grave dangers posed by Nazi Germany. At a time when many political leaders and intellectuals underestimated Hitler's true intentions or sought appeasement, Warburg unequivocally called for active and decisive opposition. His warnings were not merely speculative. They were informed by his keen analysis of economic conditions, political rhetoric, and the historical precedents of rising totalitarianism. He saw the storm brewing long before most, and he refused to remain silent. His advocacy extended to a fierce critique of American isolationism, a dominant political sentiment in the United States during the interwar period. Warburg actively campaigned against the notion that America could remain detached from European conflicts, viewing such a policy as both naive and dangerously irresponsible. He argued that American disengagement inadvertently emboldened aggressors and undermined the collective security necessary to prevent global war. His efforts to awaken the American public and political elite to their global responsibilities were tireless, emphasizing that the world's problems were interconnected and required coordinated international responses. He believed that isolationism was not a shield, but a pathway to greater global instability. Warburg possessed an extraordinary ability to analyze complex geopolitical trends and to predict the long-term consequences of prevailing political and economic decisions. This foresight was not merely intuition. It was the product of rigorous research, deep historical knowledge, and a comprehensive understanding of human nature. He could connect seemingly disparate events and policies, drawing clear lines of cause and effect that often eluded his contemporaries. His predictions, though often unpopular at the time, frequently proved accurate, underscoring his intellectual prowess and his commitment to truth over expediency. His ability to see beyond the immediate horizon made him a truly invaluable, albeit often unheeded, Cassandra of his time. Beyond his direct advisory roles and public speaking, James Warburg wielded intellectual firepower through his prolific writing, turning publicistic works into potent weapons for peace. He understood that shaping public opinion was crucial for influencing policy, and he used books and essays as his primary instruments. His extensive authorial output included influential works such as The United States in a Changing World and Germany, Bridge or Battleground, which were meticulously crafted to inform, educate, and mobilize the public. These texts were not academic treatises for a niche audience. They were accessible, persuasive arguments designed to engage a broad readership in critical geopolitical discussions. He believed that an informed citizenry was the best defense against short-sighted policies and bellicose rhetoric. Warburg distinguished himself through his exceptional capacity for detailed analysis of international relations, delving deeply into complex global problems and proposing unconventional solutions. He didn't merely describe issues, he dissected them, revealing their underlying causes and interconnectedness. His solutions often challenged conventional diplomatic wisdom, advocating for radical shifts in approach that prioritized long-term stability over immediate political convenience. This analytical rigor allowed him to identify structural flaws in international systems and to envision alternative pathways to peace that others overlooked. His proposals were always grounded in a pragmatic assessment of economic and political realities, making them both bold and credible. A significant aspect of his intellectual struggle was his unwavering commitment to debunking myths and propaganda, which he recognized as tools for inciting conflict. Warburg tirelessly worked to counter misinformation and manipulative narratives that were used to justify aggression or to obscure the true costs of war. He used his platform to present factual evidence and reasoned arguments, cutting through the fog of rhetoric to reveal the underlying truths. His efforts were a testament to his belief in the power of reason and transparency as essential elements in fostering a peaceful and just world order. He understood that peace could only thrive where truth prevailed over deception. Central to James Warburg's long-term vision for peace was his unwavering advocacy for a new global order, one built on principles of collective security and international cooperation. He fervently believed that true and lasting peace required more than just the absence of war. It demanded a fundamental restructuring of international relations. His ideas often converged on the concept of international federalism, emphasizing the necessity of creating effective supranational institutions capable of preventing wars and addressing global challenges that transcended national borders. He envisioned a system where nations voluntarily ceded certain aspects of their sovereignty to a larger, more powerful global body, capable of enforcing peace and resolving disputes impartially. In this vein, Warburg frequently proposed reforms to the nascent United Nations, advocating for measures that would strengthen its role and enhance its effectiveness in ensuring collective security. He recognized the UN's potential, but also its limitations, urging for structural changes that would grant it greater authority and operational capacity to mediate conflicts and enforce international law. His proposals aimed at transforming the UN from a forum for discussion into a robust instrument for global governance, capable of actively maintaining peace and preventing aggression. He believed that a truly effective international body was the ultimate safeguard against the recurrence of devastating world wars. The reception of James Warburg's ideas during his lifetime was varied, ranging from outright dismissal to grudging admiration and eventually profound recognition. Many of his contemporaries, particularly those entrenched in traditional diplomatic and military thinking, often found his economic-centric approach to peace unconventional, if not outright radical. His early warnings about Nazism and his critiques of isolationism were frequently met with skepticism or outright hostility. However, as events unfolded and his predictions tragically materialized, his insights gained increasing credibility, leading to a slow but steady acknowledgement of his intellectual prowess and moral courage. His voice, once isolated, gradually became a respected, albeit often challenging perspective within international discourse. The long-term influence of James Warburg's work is undeniable, with the continued relevance of his economic and political forecasts resonating deeply in the modern world. His analyses of the interconnectedness of global finance and geopolitical stability, his warnings against protectionism, and his advocacy for international cooperation remain strikingly pertinent today. In an era of increasing global interdependence and complex challenges, his insights offer a powerful framework for understanding and addressing contemporary issues. The economic roots of conflict, the dangers of nationalism, and the imperative for collective action are themes that continue to define our global landscape, proving the enduring power of his foresight. Warburg's figure stands as a compelling example of how an individual, particularly one with a background in finance, can exert significant and meaningful influence on geopolitical processes. His journey from a successful banker to a tireless advocate for peace demonstrates that expertise in one field can be powerfully leveraged to address challenges in another. He proved that a deep understanding of economic forces can provide a unique lens through which to analyze, predict, and ultimately shape international relations. His life is a testament to the idea that intellectual courage, combined with practical knowledge, can be a formidable force for positive change on a global scale. For traders, investors, and economists operating in today's volatile global environment, James Warburg's lessons are remarkably relevant and provide invaluable insights. His analytical framework underscores the critical importance of understanding macroeconomic risks, emphasizing the inextricable link between geopolitical stability and financial markets. Warburg's career serves as a powerful reminder that political events, often seemingly distant from the trading floor, can have profound and immediate impacts on asset prices, currency values, and overall market sentiment. Ignoring the geopolitical landscape, as Warburg cautioned, is to operate with a dangerous blind spot, potentially exposing portfolios to unforeseen and significant vulnerabilities. His work also offers profound lessons on the true cost of conflict and the inherent, often underestimated value of peace for long-term investors. Warburg's insights highlight how political instability, trade wars, and armed conflicts inevitably lead to economic disruption, supply chain breakdowns, and capital flight, eroding value and stifling growth. For value investors, understanding these long-term consequences is paramount, as periods of peace and cooperation generally foster environments conducive to sustained economic prosperity and stable returns. His perspective encourages a broader, more holistic view of investment, where geopolitical tranquility is recognized as a fundamental, albeit intangible, asset. Finally, Warburg's legacy prompts crucial reflections on the responsibility of the financial community in shaping a stable and peaceful world order. He believed that financial elites, with their unique insights into global economic flows and their considerable influence, have a moral imperative to advocate for policies that promote cooperation over confrontation. His life's work challenges the notion that finance is a purely apolitical pursuit, suggesting instead that those who control capital bear a significant burden of responsibility for the broader societal and geopolitical consequences of their actions and advocacy. It calls upon today's financial leaders to consider their role not just as drivers of profit, but as potential architects of a more secure and harmonious global future. In conclusion, James Warburg's unique contribution to the struggle for peace was defined by his unexpected tactics, which were meticulously built upon economic logic, intellectual audacity, and an unparalleled understanding of international processes. He navigated the treacherous waters of 20th century geopolitics with a clarity of vision that was both rare and profoundly impactful, even when his warnings went unheeded. His journey from a prominent financier to a prophetic voice for global cooperation underscores the power of interdisciplinary thinking and the courage to challenge conventional wisdom in pursuit of a greater good. His legacy compels us to reevaluate the conventional tools of diplomacy and to consider the profound, often overlooked role that economic stability and foresight play in averting conflict. Warburg's insights remain acutely relevant in our complex, interconnected world, urging us to recognize the deep financial roots of geopolitical tensions and to champion policies that foster shared prosperity and collective security. His life's work is a powerful testament to the idea that true peace is not merely the absence of war, but the active cultivation of conditions that make war unthinkable. As we reflect on Warburg's journey, we are reminded that the battles for peace are fought not only on diplomatic tables or battlefields, but also in the realm of economic policy and public discourse. His story encourages us to seek deeper connections between seemingly disparate global forces and to understand that financial acumen, when coupled with a commitment to humanity, can be a formidable force for good. We are invited to draw lessons from his prescient warnings and his unwavering advocacy for a more integrated, economically stable, and peaceful global order. His influence, though perhaps not always overtly acknowledged, has subtly shaped the contours of modern international relations and economic thought. Warburg's dedication to informing the public and challenging prevailing narratives highlights the enduring importance of intellectual independence and the courage to speak truth to power. He demonstrated that a single, committed individual, armed with profound knowledge and unwavering conviction, can indeed make a difference in the grand tapestry of global events, even when the immediate impact is not fully appreciated. The challenges he confronted, from economic depressions to the rise of totalitarianism and the nuclear threat, resonate with many of the global issues we face today. His solutions, often ahead of their time, offer a powerful blueprint for addressing contemporary crises, whether they be economic downturns, geopolitical rivalries, or the complex interdependencies of global markets. Warburg's work is a timeless reminder that understanding the economic underpinnings of peace is not an academic exercise, but a practical necessity for global survival. His life serves as an inspiring example for anyone who believes in the power of ideas to change the world. Warburg's relentless pursuit of peace, driven by his unique blend of financial expertise and moral clarity, continues to inspire those who seek to build a more just and stable international system. His unexpected tactics were not just strategies for his time, they are enduring principles for fostering a world where economic prosperity and political stability go hand in hand, ensuring a future free from the shadow of conflict. For those captivated by the intricate dance between finance, history, and global events, and who seek to deepen their understanding of how economic forces shape our world, there is a resource that aligns perfectly with Warburg's legacy of insightful analysis. We invite you to explore the Wall Street Memoirs channel. It offers a meticulously curated collection of historical events, profound financial crises, and compelling narratives of the prominent figures who have shaped the very foundations of Wall Street. Just as Warburg illuminated the hidden economic currents of his time, this channel uncovers the rich tapestry of financial history, providing context and insight that are invaluable for understanding today's markets. You'll find stories that resonate with the very principles Warburg championed: the interconnectedness of economies, the impact of policy, and the enduring human element in financial decision-making. Don't miss the opportunity to expand your knowledge and gain a deeper appreciation for the forces that drive global finance. Dive into the archives of financial history that continue to influence our present. Find the link to Wall Street Memoirs in the description below, and subscribe to embark on a journey through the pivotal moments that define our economic past and present.